this
movie.
Yeah. Ooh, we did it. Fuck this movie. Welcome to another episode. We're here to talk about movies.
We're here to talk about movies and fuckery.
Fuckery.
Lots of fuckery.
There's always a degree of it, for sure. Kind of makes the world go round.
Fuckery makes the world go round?
Yeah.
That's probably true.
Yeah. I mean, some version of it.
So we're
especially depending on how broad your definition of fuckery is.
Yeah.
This is episode 19.
It is already.
Which means the next one's 20.
Damn.
It's going fast.
Yeah. That means my next pick is going to be legal to drink.
Right on.
21.
So episode 19, which is tonight, is going to feature a double feature of Big Trouble in Little China and The Thing. So it's the Kurt Russell / John Carpenter double feature.
Well, since you're saying that now.
Yeah, I'm saying it now. I'm changing it up on you.
Totally blanked and didn't do this last time. So I'll say now, Big Trouble in Little China is not currently streaming anywhere, but it's, of course, available to buy everywhere. So go buy it. It looks like The Thing is on AMC and Shudder, which is AMC.
Yeah.
So AMC or The Thing is on Shudder, and I highly recommend watching The Thing at least, if not both, before we talk about it and spoil it.
Yeah.
Both.
So that voice you just heard was the man to my left. He is the man with the kidnapper van, Mr. Reese Anweiler.
The kidnapper van man.
Yeah.
I do carry candy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's even got like a ladder on it. It's utilitied out.
In case they think they can get away from me.
And then, of course, to my right,
tree?
to my right, we have owner, proprietor, professional doodler. He's too old to be cool, Mr. John Brown.
That is me. Welcome to The Thing that we present.
And I will be your incompetent orchestrator, Dustin Holler.
DJ Holla.
Ooh, never heard that.
Need
one.
air horn.
Never ever heard it. So, fellas, what have we been watching?
Well, I went off on a Carpenter tangent after we watched these movies.
Yeah.
And dug into Escape from New York, which was good. It was satisfying. I dug it. And then
Had you
watched...
never seen Escape from New York before?
No.
Okay.
I couldn't, and so that's a fucked up thing. When I began watching it, I knew.
That's surprising to me that you'd never seen it.
Yeah, well, I knew it. I knew I had seen Escape from L.A. And as I was watching Escape from New York, I was like, man, I can't tell if this is the one I've seen or not. And then after watching Escape from L.A., I realized why. It's because the lazy motherfuckers just made the same movie over again. It all made sense, and I'm like, oh, that's why I couldn't tell.
There was one
key difference. Because they just dusted this bitch off, and there's differences.
There's one key difference though.
It's in L.A.
The first one was in New York.
Yeah. Well, the first one, they didn't make Kurt Russell do a bunch of derpy fucking thematic bullshit in the movie. Like, there's like New York elements.
Oh, like
with like
famously he surfs, right?
Yeah, no, he plays basketball and he surfs. Like, they just set up all these LA things, and it was like so fucking forced.
Yeah.
Well, the surf thing was totally ridiculous. I remember that scene.
It was super ridiculous. Although better than some of the other CGI that was in the movie. It was like the early '90s CGI, dude, was just fucking garbage in that movie. Yeah, it was like it became my most hated John Carpenter movie.
Yeah. After
just watching two like pretty much perfect movies for this episode to get into that. Yeah. And then just before watching Prince of Darkness, which was John Carpenter, that was fucking super satisfying, super cool.
Have you watched In the Mouth of Madness yet?
No, I almost watched it last night, but instead we opted to watch the new episode of True Detective.
Oh, okay.
Which is solid.
I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Just to commandeer, my brother came over last night and we watched Prince of Darkness.
Yeah.
That movie fucking kicks ass. That movie
I was
dude. Stoned out of my brain, and that movie, growing as someone who grew up Christian,
right.
That movie is just like all kinds of
it's
scary, and
it's fun because the Catholic priest that runs this church that finds this thing is like at a certain point is like, yeah, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing.
Yeah.
Like the Catholic Church is just bullshit. We have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
I mean, you could have made a movie just on the fact alone that the Catholic Church was not only fake, but it was constructed to distract us from an actual evil thing.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like such an interesting concept.
And then when they translate the text in the book they find, it's like Jesus was an alien trying to warn us about this thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's the devil, but the devil in an abstract sense.
Mhm.
You know, like it's just like concentrated negative energy.
Yeah.
Like it was just, it was super interesting, dude.
It's fucking rocks. Have
And
you
then you
seen
get to
Prince of
see
Darkness yet?
I've not seen it.
Alice
So
Cooper
I
as
actually,
a
while you
spooky-
guys were just talking, I was adding it to my watch list on
Yeah.
Letterboxd.
It's.
So yeah,
I think I had a blast watching that movie. I
I'm
thought it
excited
was
to check it
awesome.
out.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm so like as I'm watching as I watched Escape from LA, man. Like after watching a series of just really good John Carpenter flicks, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What is this? This is just. This is hard to watch at points. Like, goddamn, guy.
Well, I don't want to skip ahead because I kind of have this in like my bullet points for later, but I think we can all agree that John Carpenter like effects is like his game,
Yeah.
and like characters are not. Like
I don't know if I agree with that completely.
Yeah,
I
I
like
don't
a
know
lot
I
of
either.
his
really
characters.
agree with that because like he doesn't have complex characters. Like I don't think characters is like really his strong point.
No, not like deep characters, but
No.
like they're for what they are, as fleshed out as they are. I think they're very good.
I think for most of his films, I think the characters are super appropriate. And
Appropriate is one thing, but like I don't think that they're like he doesn't delve into character. He doesn't do character.
Well, no,
studies.
because
He doesn't-
for his films are about the experience,
yeah.
in my opinion. And it's very like atmospheric. One of the things I think is his strength is his music. A lot of times, like I love the music in Prince of Darkness, like just the fucking strumming or strobing, fucking like
Mhm.
building in different scenes. Like, I could, characters are definitely like on one of his weaker points, but I don't think that. I guess all I would say is that I think his characters are good for what he does.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
like I
it
love the
fits.
characters in
No,
the thing.
and I think that like you took that as a slight. And
Yeah,
I don't mean that as a slight
Right.
because I love John Carpenter and
Yeah.
like the thing
No,
is one of
I
my
do-
favorite movies ever.
I
And,
agree.
like,
They're
but,
very
like,
they're
that
very
movie's not
surface
about,
level.
Like there's not really character development in the thing. I mean,
No,
like, it just
no.
starts. You know,
You-
like
he
that's not what his
basically-
movies are about.
He basically gives you exactly enough of the characters and like a good dynamic amongst characters based on the surface level shit that they are that carries it through. Because like one thing about Big Trouble that I love so much is the character dynamic. Like all the characters in it are relatively simple people, but their dynamics together are a big part of what makes the movie so much fun and so easy to get just caught up in. You know.
Yeah.
So enough skipping ahead. What else? What else other than John Carpenter, Kurt Russell shit we've been watching?
Well, also about the character thing, though, have you seen In the Mouth of Madness?
I've seen In the Mouth of Madness, but I am in heavy need of a rewatch of In the Mouth of
See,
Madness.
I don't know. The thing I was
I saw it when I
always-
worked at Blockbuster, which is all you need to know.
Yeah. The thing was always like, I just couldn't imagine him ever topping it, and I don't think he has. I think the thing, this is probably getting way ahead, but Prince of Darkness and In the Mouth of Madness both blew me away. I was not expecting to be as good as I think they are.
Right.
So the night that I saw In the Mouth of Madness, it was like a double feature, and I saw In the Mouth of Madness with the Serpent and the Rainbow.
Mm.
You ever see the Serpent and the Rainbow?
I haven't, but it's on my watch list.
I remember both of them being like really quality horror flicks. Serpent,
Yeah.
I want to say it's like Wes Craven.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, and I remember that being I think both movies played really well that night, which obviously that was several decades ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they hold up, but I'm ready to find out. So that I might actually redo that double feature sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back to you, John. We still.
So as mentioned off air, finally got through all of the Banshees of. How the fuck do you say this?
Inisherin.
Inisherin. Okay.
Mhm. Ed Sheeran.
Fantastic fucking movie.
Yeah, and this
as
is
I assumed it would be.
this is by Martin
McDonough.
McDonough.
Yeah.
Never made a bad movie. That dude's movies are the shit.
Have you guys seen Three Billboards yet?
I've seen Three Billboards.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen.
I know
that
it's
one
just
yet.
a very divisive.
I saw it one
movie.
time. I saw it like right when it came out. Like
Same, yeah.
like just
In
'cause,
theaters.
Right.
It's kind of it's a really good movie,
Mhm.
and like you could say kind of just on merit, it's probably his best movie, just because it did get like Oscar nominations and all that. But like
Oscar wins.
It's very different than his other movies.
Yes,
like,
it is.
I feel like it's a little bit more on the serious side.
It's a little it's odd because the setting and putting it in America and like talking about police and police brutality, it turns it much more like current and political than his other movies. And I think that's why it was very divisive. A lot of people did not like that movie. But I don't think he meant it that way. He tells kind of like tales.
I think the title is garbage. Like, that's too many syllables. 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri, that's too long.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's like, don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
You do it just to be flashy.
Yeah.
It's too much.
No, and especially for an American audience, like, that is like a super, super touchy subject, and probably not as, I don't know, I guess, I don't know how touchy it would be for for them over there across the pond and all that. But, yeah, definitely that will get people riled up in this country for sure. But no, he probably did not intend anything.
Yeah.
Like,
because like I heard
he tells stories.
Yeah, I'll get into spoilers if I talk more about it.
Right.
That's not the subject today. What else do you watch?
Oh, trying to remember. It's been a fucking days. Oh, but Banshees. If you haven't seen it, beautiful film, fantastic scenery. I love Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson together. I love Brendan Gleeson. I think that guy is like
Brendan Gleeson is amazing in this movie.
He's way underrated in my opinion. I think that guy is just fucking entertaining as shit.
The thing I love about this movie is it feels like you're watching this on your own, right? Like this little island, there's not that many characters.
Right.
Like, you feel like you're there with them.
It's No, I mean, he does a great job at the atmosphere of his films and like getting you really engrossed in what's happening. Yeah. As it's happening for sure. Yeah, definitely good there.
I definitely like the concept too of like the these guys have been best friends for like ever, and one day one of them's clearly older than the other. It's just like, yeah, I don't really like you anymore. And it's like he starts thinking about his life and like how much time he has left, and he's like, my best friend is kind of an idiot. And so like he just kind of like, oh, fuck him, like I'm gonna make the rest of my time count,
Right.
And so it's like just ends the friendship, and it starts this whole like feud that turns into what you said, man. You said it right. It's a beautiful movie.
Yeah. Another thing, I watched Rambo: First Blood. Realized that I had zero recollection of that film. I don't think I've ever actually seen it. If I did, it would have been in passing.
It's the best Rambo still. The first
probably.
one, it wasn't even called Rambo. It was just called First Blood. That was my childhood. That movie was my childhood.
Yeah, no, it was solid for what it was, for sure. I definitely did not. Yeah, there is no recollection.
Featuring Brian Dennehy as a sheriff with his nose up a drifter's ass.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was going to be in the fucking thick of the jungle, and it's just this small town where this veteran just happens to roll through, and they fuck with him, and he has a knife that's not even like much of a knife. It's a belt knife, but it's not anything special, and they just lose their shit completely, which is also crazy. And like,
he does resist a little bit. He doesn't want to be fingerprinted. Like,
because
he has some like Nam flashbacks that kind of trigger some things.
But
for
still,
him.
like, there's just not. I don't know. It's just loose to go that as hard as the cops did on this guy over just that.
Yeah, it's an 80s action movie.
I don't think the cops have ever overreacted to anything.
No, I know, right?
They're just 100% all the time. But yeah, so that was fun.
This actually reminds me of a story that I have to tell right now, or I'll never remember it. So when I worked at Blockbuster, the great thing about working at Blockbuster is you get everybody's take on every movie. Like, you didn't just return a movie. You have to tell the dude who's taking it from you what you thought of the movie. And so you get everyone's take. And I'll never forget this lady. And I want to say she wasn't middle-aged. She was older than that, but I wouldn't say she was old. So I'm thinking like probably like late 50s.
Right.
And she watched 10 Things I Hate About You. Excuse me. Excuse me. Anyway, so she brought it back, and she's like, I would like a refund. This movie was terrible. I'm like, oh, really? Because I saw it, and I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was actually pretty watchable. It was kind of a cool movie. And she's like, no. Not this movie doesn't make any sense at all. She's like, there were teachers in the movie that were cussing. And I'm just like, okay. She's like, teachers don't cuss. I'm just like,
okay.
All right. So anyway, fun
Go
story.
back and live in your bubble. It's all right.
Yeah. Anyway, that just popped into my head randomly when you said that. So that's how we got there.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the bulk of the notable things that I watched. I'd say for this week. Not a whole lot.
I've always I have not seen any of the franchise, but I've always heard that Rambo is the first one is like actually a really well done, like thoughtful, intelligent movie.
It's
and then
definitely
they
thoughtful.
go, bleh.
Yeah,
It's like they've done this with a couple of things. It's they have one movie that works really well for what it is, kind of low budget. Like he said, the idea is kind of it's not really a war movie, right?
Yeah.
Like every Rambo movie is a war movie except for the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is like
it's a movie about a veteran.
About a veteran who kind of gets like terrorized by local police forces. He's like drifting through their town.
Yeah.
And like and basically they give him some like flashbacks and he goes fucking guerrilla on them. Like, and that's what it is. And so it's like they start calling in like state police, like it just escalates, and it's like one man is just like burning down like civilization at home, like he's still in the war because they brought it to him.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cool idea. And then every following movie, which I gotta admit, as a child, I loved all of those too.
Right.
Every following movie is just a more unbelievable action film starring that character.
Right.
And
brought back into the fold.
Yeah.
I will say that
like after the first movie, it's just like the second movie is just like, well, we saw that you took out an entire town, and that's why you're behind bars. But the government needs your help.
Yeah.
And we'll let you out of here if you go to Vietnam and murder everyone and bring back all of the POWs that are stuck in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like that's what the like Rambo franchise is.
So I had actually seen the last one not that long ago, and while it's not great per se, it was entertaining enough to watch. I described it to Dustin the other day, and he's like, "Oh, it was just taken," which kind of was. But it's back to him being like super decommissioned, just trying to live out the last fucking like who knows.
Did you say it was like about his daughter or something?
It's about his daughter or
there's like no
family member.
No previous mention in the film series about him having any kind of a family.
I don't know what happened.
That's
Well,
a little loose, man.
it's somebody that I don't know. I didn't watch any of the shit, so I had no idea.
There's
I
like
just
six
watched
of
the
them,
fucking
right?
movie.
Huh?
Like when you say the last one, you mean the one that came out like 4 years ago,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Which I have not seen. Like
No,
I figured it would take too much away from my early years and didn't.
I mean,
watch the.
It wasn't. So I don't know if there was a setup for any family, and I don't think it was literally his daughter. I think it's maybe like a family friend or a family member, and a niece. Actually, it may have been a niece, something like that. But anyway, he's trying to live on just a farm, just kind of live out his days. Of course, living out his days includes building this giant bunker structure on its farm for, I don't know, I guess habit. And then this girl goes to Mexico, and he has to go rescue her from sex traffickers.
Take it.
And yeah. And I don't think that. No, I think he finds her dead. It's actually, the last one's kind of heavy.
Spoiler.
Yeah,
alert.
sorry,
Spoiler.
spoiler. She's dead.
I can't watch the movie now.
But it's pretty fucking brutal, man. That's
Then
one thing
fuck
I'll
the
give the
full
last
genre.
movie is
Yeah.
it's like very, very brutal. Like you expect when he goes, you expect he's gonna rescue her. There's a scene where he like just rolls up on these dudes and gets like the fucking shit kicked out of him, and then later finds where she's at, finds her dead, and then just like causes a bunch of ruckus with these dudes and basically baits them to come back to his property, luring
And then he
them
Home
into his
Alones
bunker
them.
structure. Basically, yeah.
Yeah,
So
Home Alone.
Rambo Home Alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's Home Alone.
Yeah. it was what it was. It was.
Which
I
is
watched
Rambo, Columbo, and Home Alone.
Yeah.
One.
I didn't turn it off, but I will say that it definitely did justice to some like. If you like some brutal action stuff, like that's definitely present.
Yeah.
And Rambo
Revenge.
movies have always been good for that.
Yeah,
which
for sure.
the second one, if you would have asked me when I was a kid, I probably would have told you that the second one was my favorite because it's the one that you remember.
Yeah.
Dude running through the jungle, like murdering an entire army by himself. Like
Yeah.
that was the second movie.
Yeah, the first one actually didn't even do that much.
Oh, and
Brutal
also
shit, really. Like,
also, so based off of the Rambo series, he did another series called The Expendables, which is kind of this like
Yes.
they just get like every action.
comedy.
I
hero
only
ever.
watched the first one. It
Right,
was
so-
so bad.
But this is me talking about
it
Rambo
is exactly
2.
what it is.
So it's actually Rambo First Blood 2, the second Rambo movie. That is actually where that concept comes from of Expendables. That's the first time that he talks about being expendable. And it's like there's in the entire series, as far as I know, there's one love interest, and it's very, very short, and it is this Vietnamese chick is he's like in Vietnam, like basically trying to rescue a bunch of POWs, and he kind of like falls for this Vietnamese chick, and they're having a conversation, and she's like asking like why he's here and all this stuff, and like why they sent him, and he says because he's expendable, and she doesn't understand what that word means, and so he tries to explain what expendable means.
yeah.
And yeah, so anyway, if
Did
you
you
heard of the
see-
Expendable, like a lot of people have seen the Expendable series, don't actually know where that name came from. It's-
Right.
But he's
it's
not
from Rambo.
playing Rambo in the series.
No.
He's
no.
not.
That
He
would
is
be
not.
more interesting.
He is
if,
not.
If
But,
it was actually Rambo, John McClane,
No,
the
that-
Terminator.
that actually-
ooh, that would be fun.
No, yeah, that would be.
That could be a future Expendable
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, when they start replacing, they're just full
CGI.
like the
Yeah.
CGI young, Rambo and young, all those people. That's what I feel like we're like 2 years away.
Yeah,
from.
the problem we get into here is we end up having Stallone and Schwarzenegger playing like 4 different parts.
Yeah. So
Right.
one movie that I rewatched the last few years, watched with the kids and they loved it, and honestly, like when I rewatched it, I thought the movie was fucking gold. It's probably my favorite Stallone movie is Demolition Man.
That movie is really
on
fun.
this fucking
Yeah.
Conversation of just action nonsense. Like the movie's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, that's
If
a
you
fun
haven't
one.
watched Demolition Man, I recommend watching it. If you've watched
You
it, haven't
clearly,
seen
sir, have never seen Rhinestone.
it, yeah, I have not.
So, have you guys ever heard of Rhinestone?
I never even
Oh,
heard of that
God,
one.
this is gonna be a pick. This movie's terrible, but it's like so good. It's like terrible but good. So, Rhinestone is Sylvester Stallone and Dolly Parton, and like,
Oh, okay.
and so like Dolly Parton is this like country music star who has this like
Is it just Bodyguard?
sleaze bag, has this like sleaze bag agent or somebody who holds her contract kind of a thing. And like she makes a bet with this sleaze bag that she can turn any fool, the next person they see, into the next country music star.
Oh God.
And like,
Is it really Sylvester
Stallone
Stallone?
plays a cabbie who like basically almost runs them over as
Yeah.
they're making this bet. So he become so the movie is literally about Sylvester Stallone becoming a country music star.
Fuck yeah, I gotta
And-
watch
that
that.
sounds
dude.
pretty fun.
And he fucking sings, and it is atrocious, and it is amazing, and we should totally watch
Ah, dude.
Rhinestone.
That sounds
How
fun.
how has that not been a screenshot of him singing? How has that not been a meme on
it
the
also
internet.
internet? That's got to be visually just stunning, right?
it also stars one of the like literally one of the best actors of all time. You guys ever hear the Straight Story? About
Yes.
Who was the guy? Who was the main actor on the Straight Story?
It's not Bruce Dern, is it?
Fuck. Oh, this is gonna bother me until the end of time. Somebody look it up.
I'm,
But,
I'm on it.
Anyway,
The Straight Story starring
come on, old man. He's probably dead.
cast.
Yeah.
Richard Farnsworth.
Yeah, Richard Farnsworth. Okay,
Sissy
so
Spacek is there.
and if you saw a picture of Richard Farnsworth, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, that guy."
Yeah.
But anyway, He is hilarious in this movie,
Yeah.
Rhinestone. He's like the best. He's the reason to watch it, other than watching Sylvester Stallone trying to become a country star.
That's fucking hilarious. That's great.
1984. This movie is celebrating its 40th anniversary.
Rhinestone?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'd watch
Oh,
that.
it's atrocious, but like it's like I've seen it probably 10 times, but I saw all 10
Oh,
times
yeah.
were like before I was
Yeah.
like 10.
Right, right. Yeah, I'll
yeah,
have to check that out. That's fun.
yeah, it's a fun deal.
All right, so
What do you got, Reese?
Were you?
I'm good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't have much to report.
I have
this
watched
time.
a shit ton of stuff. I'll
Oh.
just have to give you the highlights.
Roll with it.
Roll.
I did get to rewatch Saltburn because that movie is now streaming on Amazon.
Okay.
So I do highly recommend that one. John, I don't know if you'll like it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm
I think
curious.
Dustin will love it. I don't
I'm very
know.
curious. Why do you not think that I will like it?
It's like very, like, sensual, like personal drama,
Oh, I mean, that's fine.
like relationships. I don't know. It's like over the top, almost like campy in some ways, but like
I don't-
super glamorous.
I don't defaultly. I mean, if it's like, I guess that may be the thing that I might not like is how glamorous it may be.
Yeah.
Personal, like super intense personal relational shit. I mean, I'm game for that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what makes a good drama a drama.
Yeah.
And I love dramas. So, no, I'm very curious. since
You
we
know the
talked about
guy
it last time.
in Banshees of Inisherin who's like I think he's being abused by his dad, and he
Yeah,
kind of
the
like
simpleton
half-heartedly
kinda
hits
guy.
on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
sister.
Yeah.
He plays the lead in Saltburn.
Okay.
I've been
He's
really
fantastic.
curious to watch this movie. I've heard good things about it.
It's on Amazon Prime now, so you have
Yeah.
no reason not to watch it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll
Nice.
probably watch it this weekend then.
Yeah. I got to go see The Iron Claw before that left theaters.
Was that good?
I liked it.
I was
but,
curious about that too.
you know,
This is a wrestling movie, right?
Yes, and it's really, I'd say the wrestling is like 30% of the plot.
So,
Oh, of course.
but,
Yeah.
like,
did you ever see that movie, The Wrestler?
I didn't.
Okay.
No.
All right.
But,
Well,
I'm
never
very-
mind. That totally fucks my credit.
Familiar with it, and
Yeah.
no, yeah,
I feel like that movie's similar.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
feel like it's a similar movie.
yeah, it's really just about this like fucking destructive dad and how he kind of destroyed his family, like just weighing all of his sons down with extremely toxic masculinity.
Right.
Hmm.
Like you're not anything if you're not the best type of
Right,
shit.
right.
Yeah.
But Zac Efron like owns that movie. He's fantastic. in
I've
it.
always been a fan of
Yeah.
Zac Efron. Yeah.
So highly recommend that. I don't think it's playing at North Point anymore, but that's cool. The Boy and the Heron, the new Studio Ghibli film,
Yeah, I do want to see that.
that is now playing in Warsaw. That's
is it?
as of last week. It's playing in
Oh,
Warsaw.
nice.
so-
Yeah, I think my wife's going to see it with somebody. That's
Yeah.
I might actually go watch
Yeah,
that. That's
I
cool.
highly recommend it. It's even if you don't like necessarily like it, it's visually very
Yeah.
stunning and
I'll skip that one.
I don't know. I think you'd like it. It's much more.
I
adult
got
than
I got
many of his other films.
I got sucked into seeing one of those Ghibli films.
His
Yeah, and
films.
we've said this before.
Never
There's
gotten
a
over it.
huge.
The
there's
My
a
Neighbor
huge
Totoro
span.
is like aimed at like 5 to
Yeah.
10-year-olds.
No, like all his
Yeah.
movies are not
This movie's
for like
made for
children.
adults.
Oh, it is?
I mean,
Yeah.
he is. It's not like cussing and stuff, but like,
Oh.
Hayao Miyazaki at this point is in his 70s, and this
No,
is
he has
supposedly his last movie.
plenty of films that are not childish. You watch
No,
the
yeah.
most childish of his
Yeah.
films, basically.
Yeah, it's like if I said you need to watch some George Miller movies, and then you watch Happy Feet, and you say no, he makes stupid kids movies.
Yeah.
That's what you did, basically.
All right. Well, I don't see why there's any reason to put it all on me.
Well, it's your fault. So.
He made the movie.
Boy and the Heron, very good. Go see it. I rewatched Safe Men. Have you guys ever seen Safe Men?
No.
I've never seen that
Is
one.
it
I know
a
what you're talking
heist?
about.
Heist
Yeah,
stuff?
well,
Yeah.
kind of. It's very comedic. It's Sam Rockwell, Paul Giamatti, Mark Ruffalo,
It's like the
Steve Zane.
like that. That's a perfect combination of people because those are all guys that could never carry a movie on their own. But like you put them together,
Right.
They're so
probably
good.
get there. Yeah,
It's kind of like
I buy into that.
if Napoleon Dynamite was a heist movie. It's like that kind of
Okay.
comedy. A little more structured than that.
Right.
But, you know, it's real kind of goofy, quirky comedy. I really like it. I saw Natural Born Killers for the first time.
First time.
Ooh.
I want to rewatch that really bad. I almost
You
did
know,
the other night.
Reese, I watched
that.
that movie probably 6 months ago.
Yeah.
For the first time in like 20 some years.
Yeah.
I thought it kind of held up. Like honestly,
You know, I did too. I actually did kind
I
of
just
like it.
assumed that it would. Like
I,
I thought I'd loved it back then. So
I've become a lot more sensitive of depictions of sexual abuse and rape though, and like just you can really feel it sometimes, you know, when it's not appropriate. And I didn't feel like they definitely could have toned down the sexual abuse stuff in this. It felt a little gratuitous, and I get that's kind of the point of the movie.
that is
but
kind
like,
of the point of the movie. Yeah.
I don't know. You know,
I mean, it is Natural Born Killers is the title. So like, you're not watching a movie about like people. You're watching.
No,
movie
but I
about some
honestly
humans.
like the crazy over the topness of it too. I'm the director. Oliver Stone is kind of one of those directors for me. I feel is a little overrated, but I really dug.
yeah. So I don't want to defend Oliver Stone, but I will defend some of his movies. And I know that we've had this conversation before. Like I know you're not a big Platoon fan, but I love that movie.
Yeah.
I'm not going to defend Oliver Stone as a director because I do. I think you saying that he's overrated there's probably like credence to that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that you probably think that some of his better films are overrated, and I would fight you on that.
Yeah.
Specifically Platoon.
Yeah, I mean, I could stand to rewatch Platoon, and I do want to see
Greatest score of all
The
time.
Doors. Born on the 4th of July, I actually
The Doors,
recall really liking.
the movie based on the Doors autobiography.
Yeah.
It was good.
So
That's-
I've actually read the book that's based on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Platoon
Like, it's
is
super
so much
interesting.
better than Born on the 4th of July. It's ridiculous.
I think I liked more of the personal, like, aftermath veteran
Yeah.
story than the in the middle of war story.
Right.
Yeah.
JFK also thought was just like, what is the point of this?
He dies.
It's really biopics, man. You don't like biopics. That's what we're learning.
That's kind of what I'm learning. They're good for like one time.
What's your favorite biopic? Do you know
we've
this?
talked about this, and I've been thinking about it. I don't think there's a better biopic than Social Network. Like, and I was thinking, like, would you count The Wolf of Wall Street as a biopic? But I don't think he's aiming for like
probably
accuracy
not.
in that movie.
I don't
but
think
then
that.
they're
I
also
don't. I don't.
not
I wouldn't
aiming
consider that a
Yeah.
biopic.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think it would have to be Social Network because for me, like a movie has to be able to stand on its own, like regardless of if it's a true story, if it's based on a book, you know.
Yeah,
if
whatever.
someone's
Just be
like,
just a good experience.
The Social
regardless.
Network might be the most rewatchable biopic
yeah,
because it's actually funny. It's fun. You
Yeah.
know, like so. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know, but like the Iron Claw, I could see myself rewatching the Iron Claw. Oppenheimer, though, like I've been thinking about that
Well,
the last
Oppenheimer is JFK,
few weeks.
right? Like it's a biopic that's good at being a biopic. You like
Yeah, but
it's
like
it's like
the more
the details. The details are all there, but like it's not a popcorn flick.
Yeah,
You know?
it's like I wouldn't rewatch a documentary. You know, that's
Yeah.
kind
No,
of what that
no.
is.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Depending on the documentary, I guess.
yeah, yeah. Like,
But like Oppenheimer, I've been thinking
let's
about
not
it
kill
more
all
and more. Like
documentaries.
as it keeps showing up on people's best of the year and winning awards, like, do I need to rewatch Oppenheimer? I'm like, no, I just don't
Yeah,
want to rewatch it.
Yeah, that's fair enough for that. It's a especially in that case, it's a long, grueling.
Yeah,
Drawn
3
out
hours
thing.
long.
Yeah.
You know, I saw it in IMAX. Am I gonna get a better viewing experience than that? I don't know. Yeah. Oh my God. So okay. So something I'm focusing on this year to help me kind of focus on older films, and to kind of narrow down my field of what I'm looking at watching. I've been focusing on movies having major anniversaries this year.
Right. Yeah.
So like, you know, like I said last week, I watched When Harry Met Sally because that's 35 this year.
Love it.
I watched Natural Born Killers because it is 30 this year.
Right.
I watched Muriel's Wedding, which turned 30. And then I was looking at the Criterions I own that are having anniversaries this year.
Right.
And I got one that I bought just off the cover. I knew nothing about it. It's called Throwdown.
I don't think I've heard of that.
It's a Chinese movie from 2004, so it's celebrating
Okay.
the 20th anniversary.
Right,
This
right.
movie is awesome. It's so fucking good.
I assume it's maybe super action packed.
Just suck a little harder. Like, I'm not even gonna say anything about the movie because, like, I went into it, like I said, totally blind, and it was just insane. Like, start to beginning, you cannot guess where it's going. There are twists that you'll never guess. You know, it's
Nice.
a fucking good movie. I'm sure it's on the Criterion channel.
I'm sorry, what movie are we talking about?
Throwdown.
Throwdown. Okay.
Here's the cover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's on Criterion channel, you should watch it. If not, I'll lend you my Blu-ray because
Okay.
I know you guys are both gonna like
Yeah,
it. It's such
nice.
a weird genre-bending movie. Fantastic. Highly recommend.
Yeah,
I
nice.
watched Law Abiding Citizen. Meh. I watched Smoking Causes Coughing. Is the newest film from the guy who directed Rubber.
I keep forgetting about that one. I really want to watch
It's
that.
on Hulu. It's very just totally nonsensical, very funny. Yeah.
Is it enjoyable? Is it good?
I thought it was very enjoyable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's the bit that from the few other films of his that I've watched, like none have been as enjoyable.
I'm not
as
convinced
Rubber.
he's good.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's good either. I know
Yeah.
that Rubber. I will fight someone to the
I know
death
you
on
love
Rubber.
Rubber, but I'm not convinced that he's good.
No, and that's fine because the things I've watched since Rubber are like, it's weird. You know, like
Yeah.
he had a whole film that was
This-
fucking Tim and Eric Awesome Show, good job, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Supporting these idiots like this.
This one kind of feels like him commenting on like the prevalence and domination of like superhero movies and stuff. It's very
okay.
fun, and it's like 90 minutes long.
Nice.
Like I said, it's on Hulu.
No,
Very worth a
I'm
watch.
curious. I'm very, very curious
Yeah.
to see that.
And I finished The Curse, the new Nathan Fielder show.
Yeah.
Again, just wild and insane. You will not guess
Yeah.
where it's going. Very worth a watch on Showtime and Paramount Plus. You have to be subscribed to both simultaneously. It's really stupid.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then, yesterday I watched Prince of Darkness, which is fantastic.
I've just got a couple. I saw Society of the Snow, which is
I've heard good things.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. I've been itching
it's,
to push the button, pull the trigger.
if you were from the 90s, you might remember the movie Alive with Ethan Hawke.
Mm-hmm.
It's the exact same movie. It's about I believe it's Nicaraguan, Uruguayan soccer team whose like plane goes down in the Andes Mountains, and basically nobody knows where they are. Like search is called off like immediately. It's impossible to see because it's just like a tiny plane,
Right.
From the air. It's just a tiny plane covered in snow in the Andes Mountains. But I want to say that when the plane first crashed, there was something like 50 some survivors, and when they were actually spoiler alert, when they were actually like rescued, there's only like a handful. I want to say there were like 15 or something like
Right.
that. But it's all about like how they had to like eat the dead to survive and survive like avalanches and like crazy
Right.
like staying out of the warmth and shit. The original movie was starring Ethan Hawke with all the original details of the true story, which was fucked up because that meant your lead was playing a Uruguayan and it's Ethan Hawke. And
Yeah.
he didn't
Yeah.
do any like accent from what I can remember. I'm pretty sure it was just Ethan Hawke being
Hey, man,
Ethan Hawke.
that's how it
as a
goes.
None of
Uruguayan.
the characters. It's really just all white
Yeah.
guys playing
Yeah.
So
Uruguayan.
Yeah.
So if you've seen Alive, Society of the Snow is not really gonna like be new to you because it's the
Right.
exact same movie, but
Is it a better experience?
it is a Uruguayan movie with Uruguayan actors, and so it's in Spanish and like
Makes more sense.
and yeah,
More
like,
accurate.
It makes a lot more
all
sense.
the characters have the same like it's the same names. Like
Right.
like you can say, oh, okay, that's Ethan Hawke's character,
Right.
but he's actually played by a South American guy.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yeah, which
Kind
makes
of
sense.
tracks.
So it's exactly the same story. There are like maybe like some tiny little differences
Right.
in like the resolution of the story, but I mean it's historical at this point, so there's
Right.
not really much they can change.
Yeah.
But I would say that it was very well done.
Good.
The other film I saw was May December, which Reese you brought up, I believe, in the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really understand what the movie was about before actually watching it, but then like I remember this, like, right, like this is I remember when this story happened, like when I was a kid. It's about the teacher that like went to prison for fucking her like 12-year-old student or whatever, and then afterwards she got out of prison. They ended up getting married and having several kids.
Right.
Yeah.
And so this movie is basically about Julianne Moore playing that teacher several years later after they've been married for.
Now,
wanna
just
s-
to clarify, though, they're not.
It is inspired by that story, but they're not playing like the real people.
Okay,
They're
I
not
didn't-
using the names or anything.
Okay, that's fair, but it is that story.
Yeah, it's that story.
It is that story. And so basically Natalie Portman is playing an actress, so she's basically playing herself, who is basically been chosen to star in the movie about this. And so she's spending time with the family, specifically Julianne Moore, trying to just get in their head and like get the background research she needs to play her in the film.
Right.
Yeah.
And basically it's like kind of how her arrival and how this actress who's like now like becoming part of the family for a couple weeks kind of just unravels the whole like family dynamic that they've built.
Right.
It's actually a really good film. I enjoyed it a lot. I think that Natalie Portman, man, every time it's like when you ask me who the best actress on the planet is, like my mind's never going to go there. But when you watch one of her movies, you're just like, fuck, man, she's so good.
Yeah.
She's so good. There's a couple scenes that really stand out. One where like she's like kind of going back through, like walking through the steps that they walked through to get where they were. So it's like working at like a pet store or something where they kind of became intimate for the first time, and she's like trying to like walking to the pet store, like rewalking their steps, and she has like a little like self-orgasmic moment when she's trying to like visualize
Right.
like what it was like for them to interact for the first time. That was a really good scene. Like, it's such a good scene because I mean
Yeah.
it's just one person like basically doing the interactions of several.
Right.
And then she has another one where she's kind of in front of a mirror, and she is literally like kind of doing dialogue as Julianne Moore's character. And that scene just like fucking blew me up because like Julianne Moore is playing a character that is very different from Julianne Moore, and then Natalie Portman is then copying that character. And it's just really phenomenal
Right.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really good acting. And the other thing is the actor, I'm not familiar with his work, but he basically plays the kid who
Charles
was
Melton.
Charles Melton is,
Yeah,
is
he
the
was-
one
I
who
think
was the
he got-
kid.
he
He's
got
he's
big
an
on-
Asian American guy.
He got big on the Archie TV show, Riverdale. He was
Okay.
I think he's Jughead on that show, and that's how he blew up. But yeah, this is like, oh shit, this guy's like an actor. Like he's-
Really? Like this is like an Asian guy, right? Like I don't think that's the same guy.
it is. No,
It is?
his name's Charles Melton. Yeah.
Okay.
You're just being racist because it doesn't sound Asian. Is that it?
No, that's fine. No,
sure his name's not Charles Yang?
I just remember seeing that the
Wang?
Jughead on that show, and I don't remember that being the same guy.
Oh, I don't know if he played Jughead. I didn't watch that show.
I don't think he did.
I just know he was on
Okay.
Riverdale.
Okay,
That's
that's
where he got his
possible.
start.
It was a
Yeah.
bunch of teen kids. But anyway, his performance was really good.
Mm-hmm.
He he kind of has this like, because he's like playing like he's 39 in the like when the movie takes place, but like he kind of does a good job of being like a father and a husband, while still like you still get the sense that he's kind of stuck back in like a teenage body, you know, like,
which makes total sense for his like scenario, like what happened to him, and he plays it so well of like, because Natalie Portman is here asking these questions of like, what did you think about doing this with an adult, and did you think this was wrong, and did you think, you know, and then he's like kind of questioning it for the first time in his life, and he's like, oh wait, was that a bad thing? You know, like, it's
shit.
And he's kind of having this meltdown, but like Julianne Moore's character is like pretending like literally nothing has ever gone wrong.
She's actually batshit. Like she's actually
in total denial of everything. It's a very interesting movie.
It was a very interesting movie. Very good watch. And then I got a couple of series that I started to delve into. One was Foundation, which Reese, you had brought up initially to me like a year ago. I watched the first episode and thought, wow, that was phenomenal. And then for some reason, it just kind of fell off and I never went back to it. Never watched the second episode. Well, it'd been like a year and I didn't remember it, but I wanted to watch it. And so I rewatched it.
To make sci-fi
it's well cast.
That makes sense without being too just silly and like over the top.
For me to try to explain the plot would only just like fuck up the, explain the plot. And then I also watched the first couple episodes of a series that's been out for a while and is like reached its conclusion, but it's called Loudermilk. You guys ever see Loudermilk?
I literally had never heard of it, and then Netflix's banner said like the 4th season of Loudermilk. It's like, I've never even heard of this show.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it either, and I checked it out, and the first few episodes are actually like kind of hilarious. Like just if you're just looking for something kind of light, casual, really fun. It's Jonathan what's the guy from Office Space?
I can never remember his name.
It's like John Silverman or
Ron Livingston.
It's the same thing.
Which guy that is?
Ron, you know this guy.
That guy.
Yeah. So Ron Livingston. So basically he plays like like an alcoholic who's like some number of years clean, but he actually runs like an AA meeting at a church. Like that's kind of like his job, is running these like AA meetings. But the dude's like a complete fucking asshole. And so it's just kind of like a fun like dramedy series. It's the episodes are 30 minutes as if it were a sitcom, but it's a little more dramatic than that.
Right.
But the best parts really are just the character Loudermilk, who is Ron Livingston, and just like how he's just kind of like a fucking asshole to everybody all the time, and it is probably anger about the fact that he'd rather be drinking and all that. But he's able to like touch people and help them, even though he's just like a fucking asshole all the time. And really good series. I'm only a few episodes in, but so far I can say thumbs up on that.
Any other actors or anything of note in it?
Like, honestly, no, man. Yes. There's another comedian in it that my mind is completely escaping right now. There's another comedian in it that you will recognize. So there's that.
Nice.
Cool.
All right. So other than that, that's what we've been watching.
That is it.
Will Sasso, sorry, is the comedian.
Oh, there you go.
Don't recognize it.
Will Sasso?
Yeah, this guy. Hold on.
The
the audience loves it when we describe us looking at pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not like super like
no, he's
or anything, but you know him. You know
he's not super well known. Like he seems to always play the gay guy.
He was shit on. He was on SNL.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably every comedian was.
Maybe Mad. I think he was a Mad guy, Mad TV guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, his shit was never great.
It was either that. It was either Mad
was
TV or Saturday Night Live or whatever the Canadian wanted. What was the Canadian one?
I don't even know. I didn't know there was a Canadian. I should have
Canadian
assumed.
one.
I guess
it was where like Martin Short and like I don't know.
No, not. Is it Twin Cities? What are they?
Yeah, something like that. That's not it, but
Hmm.
it's something city. Anyway,
Second City.
Second
Anywho.
City. Yeah, Second
All
City.
right,
Good
all
job.
right.
Anyway, so I think we're to the point of the episode
I think
where
we
we
are.
talk about the feature,
The actual thing.
which is 2 movies tonight.
It is. We're giving you all kinds of bonus shit in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
So it was John Brown's pick.
It was my pick, yeah. They're both movies that, I mean, one is more beloved to me, for sure, than the other. Although they're both, I think, for anybody that's an 80s fan and anybody that's a Carpenter fan, these movies are definitely on, like, your radar, for sure. But, yeah, they're just fucking classic stuff, man. It just embodies the cinema experience of the 80s to a degree, I think, in my mind. You know,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
crazy with the thing, the crazy practical effects of the horror, and like they're really fucking sweet, man. The effects are so cool. The things they made for
They
that
are.
movie are so cool. And then Big Trouble is just like, goddamn, it's just a fun fucking ride.
The
that-
goofiness of the 80s.
yeah, just the goofiness and the creativity, and like not giving a fuck about boundaries or things that are, you know, accepted status quos. Like they're both definitely important movies to me for sure. I do favor of the two Big Trouble a little bit more than the other, but
Really?
I just I do. I think the thing's good, but Big Trouble to me, I don't know, it just captures more because like I'm a horror guy for sure and a sci-fi guy for sure, but like I'm kind of composed of 3 elements, and those elements are horror, sci-fi, but a big bit of my personality, artistically, just creatively, is fucking sword and sorcery, man. And like, Big Trouble in Little China is a fantastic sword and sorcery movie. Even though it might not be regarded as that, like people think sword and sorcery and they think like Conan the Barbarian and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just Conan the Barbarian. Like it's sword and sorcery in a modern telling, and it's fantastic because like the character is Kurt Russell, is Jack Burton, just like fumbling his way through all the sword and sorcery bullshit as like this guy in the modern age, just like kind of like fucking going with it as it happens. Like, oh fuck, this now, oh shit, what? Okay, sure, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta do that. Fuck,
But also
that
so
happened?
so like performing confidence and like strength that he's not even pretending like he's confused about what's going on.
No, I love the
He's like,
character.
okay, this is what we're doing now.
Yeah, I love the character because like even when it's like uncomfortable or weird, he's just like, fuck it, all right, let's go, and he
Yeah.
just handles all the shit. It was like fucking confidence. But no, they're both great films for sure. Just I really, especially on the fresh rewatch, because I've watched Big Trouble like I don't know how many fucking times. I watch it every couple years probably. But just the fucking pacing of that movie, man, and the energy and how much
Oh, right off the
shit,
bat, it's moving.
Mhm.
dude, and they put so much in and nothing feels forced. It all felt good. It all felt natural. The progressions were there. They gave you just enough breathers when it mattered. Yeah, I could rave about both of these films
Yeah.
for days. I mean, just
So Big Trouble. It'd been a while since I'd seen it. And the thing that I didn't really remember was what little contribution Kurt Russell's character
Yeah.
actually brings to the action
Yeah.
and resolution.
no. I mean, so Jack Burton contributes a lot to the resolution, but like he's just there, man, for a lot.
Like
of
when
it.
the actual like combat happens, like
Yeah.
he's like totally the guy who
No,
gets knocked out
dude,
immediately.
he's so, and that's the
then wakes
thing.
up after the heavy lifting is
Yeah,
done.
he's so out of his depth in that scenario, and he just
Yeah.
he's carried only by bravado, and then like his bravado helps him do some relevant shit throughout the crazy chain of events that happens in this movie.
Yeah.
And like so, he still is important, and that's like the opening scene is this little old Chinese dude. I don't know the guy's name.
James Wong.
James Wong.
James Hong.
Hong Wong.
Yeah, it's just,
One of the quintessential Chinese actors. Like,
Yeah, no,
you've
he's
seen
the
this
guy. We
fucking
talked
dude.
about it in our first episode.
Yeah.
Everything Everywhere All at Once. He's in that.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah,
he's-
James Hong.
Yeah.
If you need an old Asian, creepy old Asian guy, he's your guy.
No, I'm not talking about the villain. I'm talking about
Oh.
the good guy, the opposite.
Dennis Dunn,
Yeah, that dude. He's been in a bunch
or
of shit too.
are you talking about the guy Victor Wong?
Victor. Victor.
Wong.
Yep, Victor
with,
Wong. Yeah.
Lazy Eye.
Yeah, Lazy Eye.
He's also in Prince of Darkness.
Yep, Lazy Eye Chinese guy. But the opening.
Okay.
I mean,
No, it says here that's his middle name.
Lazy Eye. Chinese.
it's very.
Call me
factual.
Victor Lazy Eye Chinese Guy Wong.
I mean, it's just factual, man. He has, he has a thing.
I mean, and honestly, it's probably why he's well known. Like, you have a distinct look, like Steve Buscemi.
You
know?
play into this shit.
Yeah.
It's a professional choice, and it's
Yeah.
respectable. But the opening scene is this dude being interviewed. This guy is like a bus driver in the city, and he ends up being also a fucking sorcerer.
Yeah.
Happenstance, he's also just the fucking town's good guy sorcerer. But he's being interviewed by a lawyer after the fact of all the shit that happens in the movie happens, and the lawyer keeps trying to pin it on Jack Burton, and like his character's like, nah, fuck you, man. Like, he was brave. He held this shit together, and like while through all the shit, he was absolutely out of his depth, completely just fucking holding on to the ride that he was on. But like, he did do shit that was important by the end of the movie, and was probably like kind of essential for what happened.
Yeah.
Because it probably wouldn't have played out without that. But
Yeah. He's like
no, it's funny to
he's
see.
like the Han Solo of the
that's
story.
fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
for sure,
That
for
was his
sure.
role.
But I mean,
Yeah.
speaking of sword and sorcery, this poster is just so fucking badass.
That poster is badass, and that's why it's out in the lobby, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
and that, I mean, it looks like a Conan, like the woman
exactly. No, it's
on her knees and all.
super sword and sorcery.
Yeah.
But no, it's ridiculous as fuck too. Like the three Thunder guys. are
Yeah.
like-
Yeah. No, I would just say it's a movie that has no business really being as good as it is.
yeah, I could agree with that for sure.
And
it worked. It
I also just
worked
want to
so
say
well.
that Kim Cattrall is awful.
Yeah.
She's just awful all the time. Like, I get why they still employ her.
I don't remember
the character also
any-
sucks.
I don't remember
Yeah.
anything that she's in other than this movie.
Sex in the
Really?
City, I
Yeah,
guess.
Sex in the
is
City.
thing.
But
She plays the one that's just like, not enough dong for me.
That's unfortunate. So
She's like, I'm the biggest slut of the group.
my greatest recollection of this chick is just
All of her
this
lines are
movie,
basically that.
essentially. And like in this movie, I thought she did good for the character, and I thought the character was important for the dynamic in the movie. So like, I don't know about Kim Cattrall. This is probably the only thing I've seen her in.
Yeah.
I never watched Sex in the City, but I do hate that kind of comedy. Like,
Or it's
of
like,
any
I'm a
kind.
big whore.
yeah, I don't like dudes
That's
comedy
funny.
that's like I fuck all the bitches, or I don't like women's comedy that like I fuck all the guys and my vagina this and guys might
My
think that.
vagina this.
It's lazy fucking comedy. I hate it. So if that's the case,
Apparently
for that,
she's in the first Police Academy movie, too.
yeah,
She
Probably
no,
a bit
no
role in
recollection.
that.
She probably shows her boobs.
How
But-
dare she? Let us
I think for
stone
this-
her in the street.
I
What a
think for this
slut.
movie, I think she did good for the role, and I liked the character because her character was just like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's
It
what I
interacted
meant.
really
Like,
well.
she's not any worse than I think her character is, because her character's
No.
pretty light. Like,
Yeah, she's just there to like bounce off of Jack Burton.
Yeah.
basically,
and a little bit of exposition. And,
Yeah, a little bit, create some, like a lot of these characters really just exist to link each other together and link the scenario together. This movie is all about the experience of the scenario, really,
yeah.
of this mystical fucking Chinese gang war in Little
It's
Hong Kong.
it's kind of like Jack Burton is a guest star in someone's D&D
No,
campaign.
he is for
Like,
sure. He's an NPC that wanders into this crazy bullshit, and they're just like, "All right, we're doing magic.
Fucking
Let's go."
Dennis Dung is like, this is the like 50th session of his campaign.
Yeah,
And he's like, can
yeah.
I play 1 week? I
Right,
got a
yeah.
machine gun.
yeah. No, I could agree that the movie definitely doesn't have as good a business being as good as it is, but I gotta say, dude, every time I watch this fucking movie,
You
I just
laugh.
have a great time.
You
Oh,
laugh.
I
yeah,
have a
it's
great
fun.
time.
Super
It's fun as fuck. The one-liners, the silly, stupid
Oh.
shit. Like his response, like in the opening, after everything gets rolling, he meets his buddy, and they go to pick up a girl from an airport, and then get embroiled in this incidental gang shit that wasn't even actually the gang shit that they end up being embroiled in, because he was trying to stop somebody from taking a girl that wasn't even the girl that they thought was being taken. Yada yada yada, But once the gang members start fighting, and like the one dude just like bust out a knife and bust out a fucking, I think, a baton. He's just like, what? They just looks at him like, eh? Okay, we're doing that now. And he has so many of those in the movie. It's so fun.
My favorite is the when he's got like his he gets like a group of like Asian swordsmen.
Yeah,
he's like, are any of these guys savvy in English? And like one of the dudes just like the main swordsman is just like, who the fuck is this guy again?
Like the most American accent ever. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's fun. The elevator scene is actually kind of super fun too. After they take the shit that Egg Shen gives them, like, oh, this is the fucking, and dude, his character too. Some of the shit that guy says is fucking gold as well. The little sorcerer dude as it's going on, just how literal everything is, and the literal responses to the apparently literal things they thought were fantasy. But, yeah. After they drink the juice that just makes them badass, and that little ride down, we're just all kind of like, Jack Burton, the other guy, Egg Shen, and all
their
those.
Response, his instant response to the juice like killed me. I feel like I can do anything.
Yeah, they're just fucking right on the ride down, just all looking at each other. It's like, yeah, that's fucking. Let's do this.
I feel like we're gonna do this. Yeah. Like I'm feeling really positive.
I feel like I could do anything I want to, just like you just described. Yeah,
I'm feeling really positive about the outcome of this scenario.
Yeah. No, this is super ridiculous. The completely arbitrary flying sword fight too. It's like 10 minutes long. Like they could just be sword fighting, but they specifically stand 20 feet apart to jump at each other. Like, no, who does this? This is ridiculous.
John Carpenter does.
John fucking Carpenter does. The neon dungeon, like this traditional Chinese, like mystical warlord. His fucking dungeon is rigged up in a bunch of fucking goofy ass casino neon lights. Like, the amount of no reason in the movie is very real. Like when they bust into the brothel, like they roll up in this bright ass pink Cadillac. Like, why are they driving this bright ass pink fucking 1950s Cadillac? No fucking reason. There's a bunch of those.
Shout out to Clint Eastwood movie, Pink Cadillac.
Yeah. It's I don't know if we want to go through the whole fucking business of the story, but like basically some unwitting asshole just really like I had the thought. It's like watching him because the opening scene of the introduction of Jack Burton is him just driving his semi. He's a semi driver. And just like fucking talking his business on his CV out into the world. It's like, he's an amateur podcaster.
I was like, dude, this guy's podcast would kill.
Thoughts. Like, so he's just
literally just talk, whatever rolls off the top of his head, like just train of thought.
Yeah,
like,
I'm just fucking here, and so like it's
assuming everyone is listening.
Gives
to
a
him.
ship. That's the
probably,
thing.
Probably nobody.
He assumes everyone gives the shit the entire time. Like the character is like the definition of fucking confidence. He just struts the fuck around. The bit too. I don't know. These are the little things, the little details in this movie that help make the hilarity it is. But after the main climax starts to kick off and he's rescued Kim Cattrall's character and they kiss, and then like he has this super serious interaction with the villain with fucking like lipstick all over his fucking mouth and teeth and shit.
That was fun.
It's fun. If you want to watch a fun ass movie, this movie is fun. It will not disappoint for what it is. If you think it's something else, then I don't know, you're ill informed, but it delivers. It delivers for what it is, for sure.
I feel like Kurt Russell's character in this thinks he is the main character from Roadhouse. That guy. That's what he thinks of himself.
Yeah, for sure.
Like this world-class fighter, philosopher, greatest person alive.
Now that you've seen that, did you watch the Lego movies?
Mm-hmm.
So the second Lego movie, like the main character's like other self.
Yeah.
Like it's modeled right after. After. And when I watched that movie, I was like,
no context for this conversation.
This is fucking so familiar. What is so familiar about this? I'm like, son of a bitch, like this Lego character is just playing Jack Burton. That's pretty cool. All right. Fucking nostalgia locked in. I'll buy it, man. Yeah. There's also a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV series. I don't remember which one the title of it exactly, but it was a Nickelodeon. I think it was like 2012, 2018, something like that.
Mhm.
But there's a whole episode in that series where the turtles basically like Lopan is there and the turtles have to fight him, and the turtles he mind controls the turtles into being the three thunders. And it's like it's Lopan, it's the same dude.
Yeah.
And like watching that show with my kids, I was like, damn, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, thank you. Like, 'cause that's just for the parents,
Yeah.
It's for the parents of these kids to have this homage and throwback to one of their favorite things. It
Yeah.
was cool.
That's fun.
So you think they like stole the character?
No, literally Lopan was voicing himself in,
Oh, okay.
in the TMT,
Yeah, okay.
TMNT. Yeah, it was a great, fantastic homage. That show was actually really fucking cool, man. It was really cool. If you want to watch some good Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Yeah.
that series of them was.
Did you watch
Awesome.
the new movie last year?
No, I didn't.
It's a completely new take because they're like kids, but it's really fun.
They have disregarded like shit several times. I'm pretty sure the Michael Bay stuff disregarded the whole story
That was just
completely.
Is that the one with Megan Fox? Because
Yeah.
that was bad.
Oh, I could only
This-
imagine how
oh
bad it
my
was. You couldn't
God.
make me watch that thing, dude.
I'll tell you what,
couldn't.
man.
Fuck that.
I saw Megan Fox like her name was out there because she was like one of the hottest people on the planet at one
current
point.
pretty chick of the.
And I
film
remember seeing like
generation.
her on magazines and like being like whatever.
Yeah.
And then like I watched, I think it was the first Transformers movie. She's in that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
She's
watched
in the
that
first
and I was just
three.
like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
And then so it's just like, okay, Megan Fox is actually kind of sexy.
Right.
And then I watched this Ninja Turtles movie with her as April O'Neil. Megan Fox, no longer sexy. It's some of the worst acting I've ever seen.
Well, I'm sure,
it's
'cause,
so
I mean,
bad.
She's.
I don't know how I
kinda
like. I guess
what she
all
is,
of her
yeah.
previous roles didn't.
I don't know.
Actually
I
need
haven't
her to
seen
act.
Megan Fox act. Like I could be proven wrong.
I mean, I like Jennifer's body. I think she's great in Jennifer's
Was she?
body.
Yeah, I remember liking that movie. Yeah.
She's Jennifer.
She's
Oh, okay.
Jennifer.
Oh.
She's the
Oh,
body.
yeah,
She
yeah.
plays
She's
the
really
body.
just the body. She's
Yeah.
not Jennifer. There's no
So
character.
I don't remember well enough to speak on the acting, but I remember walking away from that movie enjoying it.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
yeah. I have to revisit.
No, it's a
but-
great movie.
No, yeah, Transformers. Yeah, it's bad. Anywho, sorry for the tangent for this different stuff, but it's just fun to see how this movie crosses over.
No, yeah.
And it's
Those-
just fun to
those
see
little tributes are very
crossover
fun.
in
Yeah.
all art and film and music. So
Should we talk about the second movie?
we should. Second movie is The Thing.
The best. I think this is the best horror movie of the ever made.
Nah,
I wouldn't disagree with you.
it's one of them. It's definitely in the
if not
top.
the best, it's like irresputable in the top
Oh
10.
no,
best
it's
horror
absolutely in the
movies.
top for
Oh,
sure.
I
I wouldn't say. The
I wanted-
best,
I wanted
but
to
it's
say
absolutely in the top.
Before we get into this, I wanted to say one last thing about Big Trouble in Little
Yeah.
China.
Let's do it.
And that's it. This is I get why you love this movie
Yeah.
because you always bitch about especially like in this 90s era and stuff, which this is obviously the 80s, but
Yeah.
and back in the day era, you always bitch about like the early CGI.
Right.
This is like the least CGI film of all time. It's like
Yeah,
the
well-
sets are like really complex and
they
like
made them
are
all.
abundant. Like
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
entire movie is just
Yeah, they
one
made
big
this
set,
shit. Yeah,
basically.
the best they do, the most like graphics they do in this film, and actually, I was reminded a moment ago of a movie that I watched also that I forgot to talk about, which is the first Star Trek film with Kirk, with what's his name? But yeah, so it's like at best, it's they filmed a thing and edited it in to be in front of other film, and like like the layering thing was
Mhm.
like all super just practical. Like it was editing back then. Like the special effects were editing essentially.
yeah.
I like the furthest it goes, and it works because they don't try. I didn't feel like they tried too hard with anything.
Yeah.
Like everything was practical enough, and I think
Yeah.
with those effects, the trick is to, and with any effects, is just to stay within. Like
Well,
don't try too hard. Don't bite off more than you can chew. You know,
Mhm.
like
when I think about this director, that's what I think about is
Yeah.
practical effects.
Yeah, oh,
You-
yeah.
You know, like I feel like that's
No.
John Carpenter.
and so
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
exactly why when I watched fucking Escape from LA, I was just like, my stomach literally turned. It
Yeah.
fucking turned. I'm like, ugh, this is uncomfortable. Like,
This is him getting some new shit.
yeah, and it
That's-
felt like being pushed really hard to a certain direction as well. Like, it was very much not any of them films that I was familiar with that I loved from this guy. Like, ugh, it was bad. But yeah, no, definitely it was not CGI at all. And The Thing is a great example of that too, where
Yeah.
it's all practical and it's cool.
Oh, it's 100%
Fuck.
practical.
insanely
as fuck.
like beyond real practical.
You know what? I putting together the stuff digitally is still art. Still takes skill. Still takes time. Sorry, I just don't fucking care about it as much. I don't like it as much.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I can't
And-
even
and-
understand it. I'm still just like, nah, like, this guy made this shit with his hands. Like, I'm always gonna gravitate that way. Always.
Mm-hmm.
My whole life.
So I know you're a huge Alien fan.
Yeah, oh
and,
yeah.
Like The Thing, it's very easy to compare it to Alien because
Mhm.
it's kind of the same world. You got this like
It's a parasitic thing. It's
it's
super,
parasitic, but,
it's
but
super
it's,
different.
not only that, it's also the setting, like in space, on Antarctica. That's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it
You
is.
like,
It is.
Like there's no one to hear you scream.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
and that's the important thing for that. Like, isolation's always an important thing for horror films
Yeah.
as a genre. And I mean, shit, some horror films are literally just about being isolated, which I don't watch any of those because turns out you need more than that. Just like the movies that are like stuck in a car.
Yeah. I mean,
and you're freezing.
the Ryan
In a
Reynolds one
storage
where
crate.
he's in a coffin buried.
Yeah.
I actually thought that one was pretty well done.
I do
don't know
remember
this
that one
movie.
being pretty well
Is-
done,
Is
yeah.
the whole movie him in a coffin?
It
Literally,
is.
the whole movie is him in a coffin.
It is.
That's weird.
So it has to like.
Does it have like flashbacks or?
Not to my memory, no.
not
So
really.
are there any visuals at all?
His performance.
He has a lighter.
Yeah, he has
So
a
Oh,
like
okay.
it's not black.
I think he maybe has a cell phone for a period of time. That
Yeah,
turns on
yeah, I
something,
think so.
but it's dying,
Yeah.
usual shit, you know.
Struggling
Anywho.
to get.
Do we know the name of this film?
I think it's called Buried.
Oh, Buried.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check it
I
out.
do
It's from like
actually.
2007 or
I
something.
forgot about it, but I do remember not hating that one. But most of the ones that I've seen of that genre are just fucking
Yeah.
not good, or just not. You just get tired at a certain point. You just
Mm-hmm.
get tired and like, come on, all right. But yeah, so
Buried.
Okay.
2010.
All right. I
gotta
will.
be
And that's a
another
great poster.
that is actually a great poster. Kind of aesthetically, I actually dig.
Yeah.
What else are you gonna do?
Oh my god. The thing we are always complaining about taglines.
The Thing.
The Thing has a fucking incredible tagline.
Oh, really? Let's
Yeah.
hear it.
Yes.
Indeed.
I'm gonna read it. Okay. Man is the warmest place to hide.
Ooh.
That
I-
is incredible.
I think that's
That is
scary.
incredible.
That's
That is the best tagline I've ever
uh,
heard.
Yeah.
No, like knowing the film, but not knowing the film, that's still great because
Yeah.
like that sends a person
Like,
so many directions.
Yeah.
What they're thinking.
I'm just gonna get scared. Like
Yeah.
there's that can only go a bad
Hiding
way.
in me?
Like,
Is this abstract or are you like literally crawling inside my body? Like, all right.
yeah.
No, it's fantastic. Yeah, remote Arctic, Antarctic, whichever research facility. So my bit is my one of the criticisms with the setup for this film. The opening is these guys hanging out, and then this dog running through the snow, and this helicopter chasing this dog, and these dudes trying to kill this dog, trying to shoot at it. And by the time the dog arrives at the research facility, they're not just shooting at the dog; they're fucking throwing grenades at the
Yeah.
dog. Like this random. So you're a researcher in Antarctica, and you see this happening. You see this fucking helicopter chasing this dog, shooting at it, and like at a certain point, they're throwing fucking grenades at it. Like that's about as serious as you can get. And then shit goes bad. The guy lands, can't speak English. They can't communicate. Then he drops a grenade and fucking blows himself up. There is no point where anybody's like, man, why the fuck was this guy throwing grenades at a dog? You know? Like,
Well, go put this dog away with our dog.
yeah, this dog is cute. Come here, buddy. Like,
He
no
just doesn't
thought.
trust.
No thought to this insanity they just witnessed.
Yeah.
And just welcome this dog in.
Man's best friend. Man's biggest
Yeah.
enemy.
It's watching it the other day. That's the first thing I was thinking. Like, how is no one concerned at all about this? No one bats an eye. They don't even think about it. Like, why was he? Man,
I guess-
not even
I
to
guess-
fuck that guy for trying to kill the dog.
I mean, I feel like the place you'd go is that guy is insane. Like he's just going crazy trying to kill anything around him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
it's so,
know.
he wasn't.
I
but
don't
the
know
thing
if
doing
is,
a
as a
poor
person-
job at it.
I don't think that because he didn't immediately try to kill them at
Yeah.
all. Like he was literally just chasing this dog. I don't know. I can't think.
Yeah,
I can't
they-
imagine
They
that.
don't
I
really
wouldn't personally
explain
wonder
the attempted
why.
dog murder.
Like,
Yeah.
I get the crazy thing, but these guys are scientists,
Yeah,
and they're not
yeah.
like, why is he not trying, or why is this guy killing the dog? Like, maybe
Yeah.
we should evaluate the dog. You know, like, and it would like they wouldn't have found anything that they would, or I don't know, whatever.
Well, I mean, if they took
However,
a blood sample of the
the
dog, they would
film
have
could
found
have
out right
still
away.
continued, you know. But anyway, that's my only tiny. I thought it's more funny than anything is the fact that there's fuck it, come here, buddy,
Yeah.
come on in.
Kisses, yours,
Yeah,
kisses.
yeah, these motherfuckers. Yeah, you know he
Poor
did
boy.
too. You know he did. The guy that loved the dogs, that was their keeper. You know he fucking ate off his plate and shit and whatnot. Gave him some kisses, but no, it's a good unassuming, like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
threat.
it's
a good setup.
I love the thing. It's about a bunch of dudes who are in Antarctica and don't understand the power of the buddy system.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the whole thing is, don't get out of our view because then the thing will eat you and take over your body. And they just can't get a good buddy system together.
Yeah.
to
Well,
prevent this
you know,
from
that's-
happening
They
over
have
and over.
4 guys. He's like, okay, these 4 are not
So-
infected.
so
now
that's-
let's split up.
That's the thing about horror as a genre, man. Like, there's two main things or a couple main things that you really have to just accept, and it's like, and how they're what defines them. Like, you solve all the problems in horror films by sticking together and having a cell phone. You know, like you just do. You just
Yeah.
everything of every horror film goes out the window if you just do those things. Like, it's so much easier. I mean, in this case with space aliens, a little bit different,
Yeah.
of course, but still would greatly help.
Yeah.
Situations would be
Self-funding
much
to help
better.
you in Antarctica.
Yeah.
But the buddy system would definitely
But hey,
help.
there are other governmental agencies up there studying, apparently, because there's Norwegians. I think they
Yeah.
identify. There's a whole other Norwegian base, so there are
Doesn't
probably
say
some
in
Germans up there,
But I believe they were Norwegian.
maybe some Swiss.
Swedish,
You
Danish.
know, there's some guys also sitting in fucking bunkers in the Antarctic doing
Yeah.
stuff. I don't know what they do.
Yeah, no
really.
no
They
clue
don't really
as to
do
what
anything.
they're studying.
That's one thing that I love too that I thought was hilarious. Was like, you guys are up here, scientists studying the Antarctic. They're drinking beer and playing pool. Like, it's really just a bunch of dudes like
There's a lot of downtime.
doing dick. We have no idea what they actually do.
Yeah.
The only thing you see these guys do in the movie is drink and fuck off.
Well, I mean, like that's most jobs like that, though. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's
I
like
mean,
being a
probably.
firefighter. You know,
I'm
if
just
you're not
saying it's
fighting
funny.
fires, you're fucking off. Like,
So I
that's what you're
guess
doing.
then this is them actually doing their job, and then they died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get your chance to do your job. Oh, you guys actually suck.
Shooting dogs.
Yeah.
part of the job.
I feel like kind of the biggest tragedy about this movie is that, like, not tragedy. I don't know. I would want a sequel so badly because there's so much you can play around with in this.
They
Yeah.
did a remake.
I've seen
Yeah,
the remake.
it's-
I haven't.
It's
Yeah.
not terrible.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
it's fine.
Well, it's not exactly a remake too. It's
No.
at the Norwegian camp, so it's like a prequel / remake / reboot. Like,
Okay.
it's worth watching.
Yeah.
But
It is worth watching. I'm saying.
But then also, like, you don't need a sequel. Because I feel like
No.
there's no world in which they actually like completely wipe out the thing.
Right.
So like, it's gonna win. You
Yeah.
can't stop that.
So
you know?
what happens with this is, like, the only way to do sequels like that is they become the same as every other sequel, where it's just all you're really doing, because it's going to be the same scenario. It's just
Yeah.
changing location
Yeah.
and a couple variables. And, like, do you need that? Sometimes it's fucking garbage to attempt to. You know.
Yeah. No, that's exactly.
exactly. I agree.
There's no way a sequel would be like even close
Yeah.
to like up to like.
Not when there's
meet this
not
quality.
like story elements yeah, there's no reason for sure. Like if there's a story to continue, but it's really not a story. It's just whatever is going to be. It's like the Blob. Like people are just going to be like, oh fuck, it's this thing.
Yeah.
We have to fight it, and then fight it, and then they win or they lose, and then it still survives, which is like Alien. There always seems to be a face hugger somewhere.
Yeah. Oh man, this movie's so fucking good.
No, it's fantastic. Like it's very true to form. The performances are.
We
what
said at
they
the
are.
time, like going from Big Trouble to The Thing, it's like Kurt Russell's character couldn't be more different.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
like,
no, and a lot of his characters
and
are very
there's a lot
different.
of love for Kurt Russell in this booth. Like,
Yeah.
I think we all love Kurt Russell.
Yeah. No, I do. I even think it's kind of funny. I almost felt like it was intentional. His character introduction in Big Trouble is, driving,
Right.
out in his car on the radio, blasting out to everybody about how cool he is.
Yeah,
And then his
What he
introduction
thinks
to the
and-
thing is like quiet, alone, playing a computer, like kind of
Yeah.
pissed off, not talking to anybody. Kurt Russell's a badass, man.
sure fucking is.
Oh shoot! I was gonna say this is very apt timing of us because yesterday, January 16th, was John Carpenter's 76th
Oh,
birthday.
nice.
Yeah,
Happy birthday, John Carpenter.
happy birthday, John Carpenter.
I'm
Yeah,
disappointed in you
Still alive
for.
and kicking, huh?
yeah. He hasn't made a
Escape from
movie
LA.
in a while.
Yeah, probably not. Like a 76, you probably will
Yeah,
like
it's-
fuck
it's-
off.
It's up there.
Leave me
It
alone.
looks like he's done some shorts recently. Apparently he's got a short film from last year called Phone Stalker.
Foam stalker.
40 minutes long.
It's fucking what?
That's not short.
Well, I mean, like, it's not a feature length.
yeah.
Is some I don't foam stalker. I don't
Phone
know.
stalker.
I don't know
Phone,
exactly.
Like phone home. Oh,
Telephone.
phone.
Oh, phone. I thought you were saying foam.
Oh, sorry.
I'm like,
Foam?
foam. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
The
He stalks the
synopsis
phone.
is a woman who endured horrific threats.
It's like a bunch of guys in a pub.
Okay.
Like this is big head on this beer. This is just like lurking over
I will
his
say,
shoulder.
I was intrigued at foam stalker. I'm not intrigued at phone stalker. I could give a fuck less about that. I know what that is. I'm
You
good.
just fucked up a perfectly good concept.
But his last feature-length film was 2010, The Ward,
The Ward
starring Amber Heard.
seems familiar, but I don't know if I watched it.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Isn't she the one that shit on Johnny Depp?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I think I watched it.
it looks very
I-
generic.
I didn't watch it. It looks terrible. I'm not gonna lie.
definitely not memorable.
I'd be
Jared Harris in it though. I love him.
Oh, I do
Speaking of
like Jared Harris.
Foundation.
He's in Foundation.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that movie doesn't suck. Like
No, it looks like it sucks.
Yeah, I'm sure it sucks.
but yeah.
There's no way it doesn't suck.
I don't know. He totally has the right if he has just retired from directing. I know he still writes music. He still comes out with albums and stuff.
Okay.
But like maybe he's just done making films and fucking quit while you're ahead, I guess.
Yeah, he'll do like Halloween short films until the end of time or something. Like
Yeah.
That'll be his thing. He'll
I don't know.
he'll
Maybe
be
we're
dead, and like 30 years after, there'll be a
Just-
new short film.
next
Halloween.
year or something. He's gonna surprise drop Bigger Trouble in Littler China,
Oh,
starring Kurt Russell's son.
Big China and Little Trouble, maybe. No. Yeah, maybe.
Big China in a little bit of trouble.
So,
No stakes in this movie.
So, Reese, if we're putting a bow on this, any last thoughts or comments on Big Trouble in Little China or The Thing?
I think Big Trouble in Little China is very fun, very charming. I think it's honestly aged really well. Yeah, just a good time. And The Thing is among the best movies ever made, and I'll probably watch it repeatedly forever for the rest of my life. It's just unbeatable. It's like the Alien is probably the closest comparison I would get as far as quality and
Right.
like the sci-fi. You put sci-fi together with any other genre and it just becomes a better version. So like sci-fi horror is like as good as horror can be, I think.
I think it's because like good horror to me need something that's inexplicable and need something that's not familiar. Because the more familiar you make it, that's why I hate slashers. Like the horror element of this thing is just a guy that kills people. Well, I mean that's just like people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like it's not anything. It's just a person, so fucking kill them. Like,
Yeah. And
lots of people kill people. It's been happening for
hate it
thousands of years.
when horror movies like get bogged down in like explaining its own rules or trying to live. Like,
it takes a
have a
balance.
set of rules that it sticks to, and then
Yeah.
they inevitably break the rules. It's like,
Right.
well, what the fuck was the point of the rules then? You know, like
Well, and that's why like the best ones don't necessarily need those rules. Just a brief, just like, and it's just they show you what the thing is.
Yeah.
They show you what it does and how it behaves, and then they just, if as long as they stay true to that, it's good. And that's why usually after so long they will like kind of die as franchises because they start to like create too much space that they start needing more rules, and that's when everything starts falling apart. But the thing is a great example of sci-fi and sci-fi horror in that in mind, because it's very simple.
yeah,
This is what it is. It's just it does what it does. It takes
you can totally understand it. You know,
yeah. There's no holes to be had in
Yeah.
what this thing is. It just lives how it lives and does what it does, and it's fucking terrifying.
yeah,
Because it consumes, you know.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I think they're both great movies. I love them both.
I don't have anything to add to any of that. I think Big Trouble, Reese, you said it right. It's charming. It's timeless.
Yeah.
It's got Kurt Russell,
Yeah.
so that like totally trumps the fact that
Who
it also
himself
has Kim Cattrall.
is charming and timeless.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
opposite
no,
of Kim
I
Cattrall.
think it definitely charming is like it's one of the most charming films I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah.
You know, for sure.
And then I'm also going to agree with Reese, and like I think that The Thing is on my short list for one of the best horror films of all time. I just
No,
think
it's on my list too.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
the best is really hard.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why when
it
somebody
is
says
hard.
the best,
and it's going to be objective.
everybody's gonna just not agree
Yeah, yeah.
with that.
Sure.
Like you'll find people that'll agree, but I don't think you can expect any person like for there to be like this is the best,
No,
because there's so many that are just amazing.
yeah, no, for
And that list grows every year of human existence. So,
Yeah.
but it's definitely up there. Yeah, it has to be in the conversation.
All right. So putting a bow on the double feature of Big Trouble in Little China and The Thing.
And for every younger person that has not seen these movies, like just come on, man.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like watch these. Like younger people that have missed a lot of
You're a
this.
failure
this
to our
era of
species
film.
for not having watched this.
I think
young
we should all
youngster.
like revisit all the old art and like the art from the different
Oh.
generations.
Oh, classics
as
are coming
art
this
happens,
year.
you know,
Stay
like,
tuned
just keep
for
going.
my picks. Not this week, but in a future week.
Right.
I think I've picked what my next pick is going to be too.
Oh,
It
very
might
nice.
also be a double feature. So
Yeah.
if that's the norm now, I don't know.
I'm doing a double. I'm
It's-
about to announce a double
runs
feature. and-
runs are
I
nice.
guess it's a norm
If you
film.
if
And-
you
and
do
if you-
one,
Well,
you'll finish this
here's
run.
my thing.
We'll have another run sometime.
I will never just like I want to say never, but like it is not my intention to ever come in and say I'm doing a double feature. But if John, who always picks before me, picks a double feature, I'm probably gonna pick a double
Yeah,
feature.
And I will say ditto to that.
Yeah. No, and whoever like
Like,
us, and also
Now,
don't
you
be
started
afraid.
some shit.
Yeah.
Why do you get to pick two movies? I only get to pick one.
You're the one
Fuck
that started it. Yeah, you did it.
I did a triple feature. I've never done
Yeah,
that.
I know.
That's
well,
true.
exactly. You downgraded. Like you still started.
And to be
with
fair,
that.
my triple feature was the most selfless triple feature because all the movies were bad, and I was literally picking movies for everyone except for me. So, anyway, before we get to that, there are a couple movie headlines.
Oh,
movie headlines. Let's do it.
I normally do this before we get to the feature, but I waited till after. So the last time we did headlines, I mentioned that Scream 7 had lost a couple cast members.
mhm.
Well, the directors quit as well now.
Oh joy! So it's definitely happening.
It's definitely still getting made, probably, but with none of the original people. So that's fun.
Yeah, cool.
Also,
Probably gonna be hotter garbage than any
Yeah.
other Scream movie has.
yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. You'll go see it and you'll love it. You'll probably see it twice.
I'm not gonna bother.
I'm not talking
I'll
to you,
never
John.
watch.
I'm
I know.
talking
I'll
to
never,
Reese.
I'll never watch one of those movies
This just
again.
means they need to reinvent the
Okay.
franchise. So
Oh,
it's probably the
um,
best time to jump on ever.
No.
Another headline: Gladiator 2 has just wrapped shooting, so I'm
Ooh.
sure we'll begin talking about how people think that's a movie.
Did you know that?
Who is it? Still is the same director?
Yeah, it's
It's the same director, but I mean, it's like
all new people.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
all
I
the
mean,
people,
well, I don't.
so-
I mean, that
so
that
it's
matters.
Another
if
Gladiator
it's-
movie from Ridley
Why?
Scott.
The connection of the cast doesn't matter if it's a different story. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I mean, who are the cast? If they're a good cast, then it might be a good movie.
Paul Mescal is one of them, and you probably haven't watched
I'm
anything
not
with
super
him
familiar.
because he's a pretty new actor, but he's really good. He's fantastic. He was in a movie a couple years ago called lost that movie title.
No, yeah, you know the one with the guy who was in that movie last year.
Fucking guy.
Next headline.
Yeah.
Is it called Gladiator 2?
It's called Gladiator.
Untitled Gladiator sequel. Paul Mescal was in
It'll probably be called
After
Gladiator
Sun. He was in a movie called After Sun.
Champion
Yeah,
Circle or something like that. You know.
But like I said, he's a young actor.
Yeah, I don't know.
But After Sun was fantastic. The Lost Daughter was also like really good.
Okay.
No
So
idea.
he's a great actor.
Okay.
So
take note.
Godzilla -1. It's a wrap in American theaters is about to come to an it's about to come to an end. American theaters, but will be immediately followed by a black and white release in the
Yeah.
United States. Which I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of like
I'm really hoping to go see it.
Yeah, like hopefully it comes around here because that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, to see it like like the original. And one last headline: did not know that this thing existed before I was doing some research for today's headlines. Did you guys know that Alien? There's a series coming out of Alien,
I did not know that.
and it is coming to FX, which is notable because FX has literally never made a bad series before,
Yeah.
like ever. Like they're probably the most surefire way to make sure your series is good is put it on FX. So there's an
that's-
Alien series coming to FX.
Are there any details?
The details I have is, and that's what basically this headline was about, was kind of the first interview with the director. And he noted the Prometheus and Covenant lore kind of changed, like those two movies kind of changed the lore.
Yeah.
And so they weren't, he described them as not really useful to his series. And
Good.
so
Fucking
this series
good.
is going to be a prequel to Alien and Aliens specifically.
Good. Good.
So you expect the timeline would kind of be after, Prometheus and Covenant, but
I mean, if he's just ignoring
but
those, he could
he's
just
ignoring
be,
he's
just could be
he's
doing
leaving
that
the lore
timeline.
from the original two films.
yeah, which is the actual. Yeah, that's good. That's
Yeah,
exciting.
so,
That's super exciting.
So yeah, that does seem super exciting, and like you know that it's the fact that it's coming to FX, it's going to be high quality.
Things
It's
that
gonna
are
be good
that
shit.
big should, I think, be told in series.
But
I
do you
mean-
know we're also getting a new Alien movie this year
Yes, we
Yeah.
are. Yeah,
called Alien Romulus?
Is it supposed to be a sequel to Covenant?
No, it is. It actually sounds like a similar time setting to that one. It like takes place in between two previous
Okay.
movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's not really anything out about it. The cast is like nobody.
As long
noteworthy.
as they stop fucking about with how aliens. See, that's the thing we were talking about earlier. They're fucking about with how they work.
yeah.
They establish how they work. Prometheus and Covenant especially turned how they work and what they are upside down, and it didn't do any good
Yeah.
for the sake of the storytelling in the franchise to do that. So if people are now like going back to just like, hey, these are aliens. This is how they work.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
Cool.
to get you excited, this is from the director of the 2013 Evil Dead movie. So
Oh, fucking A.
that
Okay.
that gets me.
Okay.
That's
pumped.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Also-
the most exciting thing I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, I know, right? It's called Alien Romulus. It's a fucking badass title. So it sounds like
it is a cool name.
it's somewhat connected to Alien Covenant because like that. I love the naming idea of Alien
Right.
ship name.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
That I
For
think
sure.
it works for the franchise.
Yeah.
But we'll find out what the plot is.
I'm curious because I mean
He also
whatever.
directed Don't Breathe. If you saw that.
Oh, I hate that movie. He directed that too?
Yeah.
This guy's all over the map. This could be trash.
He didn't direct the sequel. He just directed the first one.
Oh, Don't Breathe is stupid. I was so excited. Like, or not that excited. I was intrigued. I'm like, oh, a blind guy. Like, they present him as badass. Let's see where this goes. And I watched the movie and it's like, oh, it's a blind guy with a gun. So there's just kids running from a blind guy with a gun. Just people running from a guy with a gun. Cool.
And then it goes into like very weird places.
Very weird shit. Yeah, fuck that movie.
But no, Evil Dead. I'm riding on that.
He directed Evil
He
Dead?
directed Evil Dead 2013.
The fuck? My mind is blown.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, if anything, it tells you maybe he's better with
Yeah,
franchises
I guess.
than original ideas.
So I'm
Yeah,
not.
that's fair.
I'm not real. I don't hate I didn't hate the directing
Mhm.
of Don't
Yeah.
Breathe. I
The
thought it was a
story
stupid
wasn't-
fucking
wasn't-
movie.
wasn't
I thought
really
it was a piece of shit script. And it's
Yeah.
bad.
Maybe
So-
maybe he needs somebody to set.
If
The
he
setting.
didn't write that, yeah, whatever. So that is exciting though. That sounds great because Aliens should be more like the original
Yes.
Alien. It's horrifying. They are
Mhm.
supposed to. They dress it up too much. Like with the CGI, the modern CGI, a lot of it, I feel like it's dressing up the thing too much. And it's losing like the grit to just the awful thing that it is because they are terrifying. I mean,
Yeah.
they're a terrifying fucking creature. You would probably shit your pants regardless if there was one like about to murder you.
I
Like,
mean,
there's nothing. They're so
you know,
intense.
you ever think people are so critical of like that's not scary in a horror movie, and then in real life, if you think like
You really?
I don't
imagine
know.
it?
if there was a 7-foot tall guy in a hockey mask in an alleyway, I'd fucking shit my pants. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like,
Yeah, like horror is subjective. because,
Yeah.
you know.
But like Freddy Krueger, like if you look at Freddy movies, they're dorky as fuck. Like they're not scary, they're just wacky nonsense bullshit. But if you like take that character in a vacuum and like actually imagine what the character is and take out all that dork, like that character is fucking terrifying.
yeah.
I
How
still
it
I still
operates.
maintain that Fatal Attraction is one of the scariest movies of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Glenn Close?
Glenn Close, Michael Douglas. The whole thing is like this dude's wife is on a business trip, and so like he meets some chick. Like he goes out to
Right.
like what
yeah.
you would do if you're a guy and your wife's out of town. You go someplace that you wouldn't normally go. You order like a steak and a beer. Like you do the things that you don't get to normally do. Ends up meeting some chick. They have like a little thing, and then she turns into a fucking psychopath stalker when his wife gets back. It's like the scariest shit ever. Like this dude had like a one night stand with this chick, and now his wife is back, and like this chick is just like showing up to family events and stuff. It's like,
There's nothing Dustin is more scared of than clingy women.
well, if that woman is Glenn Close, yes, that is terrifying.
Oh,
Clinging women when you're a married man, that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing.
maybe we shouldn't have
No.
slept around.
It was. I didn't sleep around. He slept around.
Oh, I didn't even say you slept around.
I was just. I just had the nightmares that took place afterwards. All right, so
Well, one
So
last-
this alien thing, that's awesome. That sounds super dope.
Yeah.
Most
No,
of these things sound super
and
dope.
an Alien
That's
series
amazing.
on FX. I'll tell you what, I don't know if the movie's going to be good. It sounds like it's a 50-50 shot. The
Yeah.
series will be fucking good because it's on FX and they don't
Yeah,
put shit
I
on
bet
TV.
it. So it should explore more. There's so much shit, and we've talked about it before. There's a lot to this universe that they don't even touch. So
Yeah.
like, let's see some of that. Let's see the rest. There's so much content they haven't fucked with at all.
True.
So
Yeah.
series is perfect.
All right, so
one last headline,
Yes.
kind of related to stuff you were
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about, is Bong Joon-ho. I was telling you about this,
Oh, yes.
Dustin. Bong Joon-ho, the director of Snowpiercer and
Yeah.
Parasite.
Right.
He's got a new movie coming out this year. It's an American movie. Like it has Robert Pattinson and like Toni Collette. It's got a great cast.
Nice.
It's called Mickey 17. It's a sci-fi. It
Okay.
was supposed to come out at the end of March, but it has been postponed
writer strike.
because of writer strike, actor strike. It's
Right.
not finished, and so it's been postponed. And in its place, the new Godzilla Kong movie has been moved up 2 weeks. So
Okay.
it's now coming out March 29th.
Okay. Nice.
Anybody have any other segments that we need to throw in here?
I don't know.
Nobody got anything
Usually-
planned?
I
All
don't
right,
think so.
then I'll send it back to you, Reese, for why we should be going to theaters and what we should be watching when we go, and then I'll do picks for the next episode.
Yeah.
And I said picks plural because there's two.
Hot damn.
A trend has started.
Actually, a good time to be going to see some movies in the theater. I'll just breeze over the stuff that's been there for a while. Anyone But You, Night Swim, The Boys in the Boat, Migration, Aquaman 2, Wonka, and The Hunger Games. Those are all still in theaters. The Iron Claw actually is still in theaters, so I would recommend going to check that out. Then there is Mean Girls, which is a remake / musical.
I just want to say, when I was going through headlines, that popped up because I guess Lindsay Lohan has like something about she's making accusations that the new Mean Girls reboot, stole something from her, and she's fucking weird because I love the Grand Theft Auto game that's been out for like 8 years or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've ever played this, when the game is loading, there's some like hot chick in a bikini.
Mm-hmm.
It's like she's a cartoon chick. She's a video game cartoon chick, but she's like it's just some hot girl. And I found out shortly after getting into this game that like I guess Lindsay Lohan tried to sue Rockstar Games for using her likeness in that photo, and it's just like. You fucking wish, like you fucking like.
If
like,
it's
just
picture...
literally a cartoon bikini babe looks nothing like fuck. She has blonde hair, you know. Like it looks.
Is it the white
like,
bikini picture?
I don't remember.
I remember
see
there was
every
a
time I load up, but
of,
it looks nothing like her, and she tried to sue. Like, get over yourself.
I remember there was a picture, one of the images you're talking about on like the main loading screen of every Grand Theft Auto. There was a picture from Grand Theft Auto 5 that like 10 different celebrities were all claiming, it's like, that's me. They saw a picture of me for that. It's like
all the women, the people that look exactly the same. Like, it could be any one of you.
I have to say the thing that she tried, like I think she tried to sue them, and it's like. It looks nothing like her. It looks nothing like her. Like
right.
I feel like this is like very much a her having a little too much her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be the case.
Mean Girls. Then the new Jason Statham movie. I couldn't have less interest in. The Beekeeper.
I've seen that trailer almost as many times as I've seen the Craven trailer.
Yeah.
Both of those movies look shitty, and I don't think anybody should watch them.
Do not go see that.
They're terrible.
But like I said, The Boy and the Heron is now playing in Warsaw. It is the dubbed version. Highly recommend that.
Well, I guess it's okay.
I prefer dubs
for that.
animation.
It's okay. They do a good job with. He does a good job with voice casting and shit. So.
Poor Things is now playing in Warsaw. I'm very excited. I'm going to go see that again because that movie is just fantastic. Highly recommend. One of the best of last year. And then a movie I think I'd seen, like, I don't know, on a list or something, but I assumed it was a documentary. So I know nothing about this. It's called ISS. It is a sci-fi thriller of tensions flare in the near future aboard the International Space Station as nuclear war begins on Earth.
Sounds interesting.
It sounds like watchable. The cast is Ariana DeBose.
You have watched this, or you have?
No, this is out this week.
Oh, it's out this week.
I didn't know anything about it until I
saw something about this.
That is actually very familiar to an 80s film I watched on a whim the other night. Actually, New Year's. Same night I watched Zardoz, called DEFCON 4.
Yeah.
Where like the beginning of the film is people.
Reminds me of War Games.
In a satellite station, like with nuclear weapons, like nuclear shit starts on Earth and then they end up coming down to Earth and then the story goes from there. I wonder if it'll be similar. I feel like
honestly, I might give it a go because I love sci-fi and it sounds like it could be worthwhile.
Yeah.
Ariana DeBose, Chris Messina, and John Gallagher Jr. are the only people I recognize in the cast. But yeah, so
nice. Some
good options this week, I think. I highly recommend you get out and see Poor Things or The Boy and the Heron or anything.
Go see movies.
All right. So, is that it?
I think that's it.
All right. So next week, or next episode. God, we always do next week. We should do this weekly, I guess. We always think that we're doing one next week. So I'm going to follow up John's double feature with one of my own, and I had a couple ways I could go with this. This year, I think I'm kind of about doing some of the things we haven't really done yet, and like genres, like documentaries, stuff like that.
I think that's a good call.
We haven't done a sports movie yet, and you brought up the claw movie or whatever. So
The Iron Claw.
the Iron Claw. So we are gonna do a double feature, and it's gonna be Fuck This Movie Presents a Fight Night. And so we're gonna do a fight night. It's gonna be kind of a long night, so prepare yourselves for a week from tonight. First, we will be watching a 1992 movie called Diggstown. It was a childhood favorite of mine. It is a very fun movie. It did not win any awards, I'm sure. Starring James Woods, Louis Gossett Jr., and Oliver Platt. It is a lighthearted kind of a heist kind of a movie. Like think the Ocean's 11 of sports movies is what we're gonna watch.
Okay.
And then we're gonna follow.
It's currently streaming on with ads on Roku, Tubi, Redbox, Pluto, and Freevee.
Okay.
Or you can just buy it on Vudu.
There you go.
I will probably do in anticipation of this. Watching
All right.
this movie.
And then we're going to follow that up with a little bit more serious movie. And Reese, you know what's coming here. This is Warrior with Tom Hardy, Joel Edgerton, and Nick Nolte. And I swear to you, it is the performance of a career for Nick Nolte. So,
Oh, yeah.
So, if you've never seen the movie, we will watch it, and you will get a much different view of Nick Nolte going forward into your life.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know which way you were going to go because
okay.
we just talked about
So
The Wrestler early in the
Yeah.
episode, and we talked about Southpaw.
So
Right.
so it's funny because actually I wasn't gonna tell it, like, this is actually Fuck This Movie Presents Fight Night Part 1.
Yeah.
There will be other fight nights
Yeah.
from me. I've already got other combinations picked out. So
yeah, this isn't really streaming anywhere again, but it's available to buy everywhere. So I recommend it.
Warrior isn't streaming anywhere?
Again, it's like Fubo, Tubi,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Plex,
Yeah.
with ads.
Well,
But you can
luckily I
buy
have
it.
it on my Voodoo account.
Yeah,
so,
you can buy it all the normal places. And honestly, it's 2 hours 20 minutes, and then Diggstown is like an hour and 40, so it won't be that late.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
basically a 4-hour night.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
the math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Cool.
So that's that, and that's this. So
Check you next time.
Fantastic.
fuck you later.